So I heard the news, and I may not be in the Destiny spear anymore. I'm not gonna fake. I'm definitely coming back for the next season because it's gonna be what are they called? It's gonna be not Fallen, the zombie Fallen. It's gonna be basically built around them, and it has like this whole Dracula and castles theme. And I think Destiny works best as medieval fantasy. I'm kind of tired of the space opera. Have more fun when it's just this medieval fantasy setting that you can run around in. So I'm all for castles and vampires and things along those lines. That's dope as shit. But recently, we got a little bit of news. Got some stuff because some author decided to sue Bungie for the Red War campaign. Astrocross dropped the video. We're going to go through the video and then we are going to talk about it on. Well, we're going to be stopping and talking about it as we go through it.
Bungie is being sued in a copyright lawsuit alleging that the developer directly copied key elements from author's original work in Destiny 2's Red War storyline. What? Bungie faces copyright lawsuit for allegedly copying Destiny 2's Red War storyline. From Zazad here, Bungie is being sued in a copyright infringement lawsuit claiming that the developer copied elements of a plaintiff's original work for Destiny 2's Red War storyline. In a legal dispute, video game developer Bungie is being accused of copyright infringement over the storyline in Destiny 2's Red War campaign, filed on Wednesday, October the 2nd, 2024, in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Louisiana. The lawsuit was brought by Kelsey Martinet, a Louisiana-based writer. That's my neck of the woods. Martinet claims that the Red War storyline and the depiction of the Red Legion in Destiny 2 are taken directly from his original work published online years before the game's release in 2017. Martinet alleges that Bungie unlawfully used his ideas, characters, and plot points when creating Destiny 2's original storyline, the Red War campaign.
Here's the problem with that. So, I don't think you can copyright a generic name like the Red Legion. Um and if his copyright is only for, hold on, when did when did Destiny 2 release? Destiny 2 released in 2017. Destiny 1 came out in 2014. Here's the problem with his copyright that any uh lawyer worth his salt would bring up is the fact that there were plot elements for the Red War in Destiny 1 before Destiny 2 dropped. Like the entire idea was that I forgot what they're called. They were called like the Sand Eater Legion or something along those lines. They were the Legion of Cabal that were specifically on Mars. And we beat the hell out of that Legion to the point that they sent a distress signal back to the Cabal Empire. So the idea that the Empire, and I think during one of the missions, maybe it was Taken King or maybe it was Rise of Iron, but there was definitely a mission where we get on board a Cabal ship and we have to turn off the transponder because it's basically sending out a signal into space. And when we turn off the transponder, the ghost makes a chime where he says that they were calling for reinforcements back to the Cabal Empire in an attempt to speak to the Emperor. Because the way in which the Cabal work is that legions that are sent off to war cannot return from war until they have won. And if they are losing, they are stuck over there fighting that losing war until the last man in that legion is dead. So we already had Cabal legions that were introduced in Destiny way back during Destiny 1. Attempting to sue them over something generic like Red Legion or, the Red Legion having like an emperor is a little bit generic because then the argument could be you as a writer would have to sue every single person that has ever done space Romans for the last like 30 years. Or an argument could also be that you wouldn't be able to sue Bungie for this because Warhammer exists and World of Warcraft exists. And both of those games have a version of, you could say, space Romans and you're technically infringing on that idea. So the fact that they're like, oh no, they definitely stole my idea. The space Romans invade and destroy the main capital. No, it doesn't really work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. Um Now if hold on, because I think later on
Marnay's work, written under the pen name Casper Cole, includes a powerful alien faction called the Red Legion, which he describes as a powerful military force that is embroiled in an unending cycle of warfare. In 2013, 2014.
so speaking on that right here, right? Right then and there, if I was a Bungie lawyer, I would say right here are clear discrepancies between both of these. Number one, when Dominus Gaul took control of the Cabal Empire, he did turn them back into a military force, but their entire reason for invading was capturing the Traveler. It wasn't them being trapped in an unending cycle of warfare, is basically just a video game element because you're constantly having to fight against them throughout the entirety of the campaign. And also locked into the theology that they have where a legion fights until literally the last man. But that's any military force, any space Roman military force in the last 30 years. And I'm going to keep pointing to Warhammer because Warhammer is the one that's currently fresh in my mind. But that's basically what the Ultramarines are in fucking Warhammer. They are stuck in an unending cycle of war against all of these other enemy factions. And that's like 20 years old. So what are we doing here?
Ending cycle of warfare. In 2013, 2014, Marnay, writing under the pen name Casper Cole, authored an original work about a unique and captivating fantasy world. The lawsuit reads, Marnay published his work on the World Wide Web. The work was published at www.wordpress.com,
Okay.
an online publishing platform freely accessible to anyone worldwide via the internet. According to Marnay, this faction bears striking similarities to the Red Legion Cabal in Destiny 2, which also serves as the main antagonist in the game's initial storyline. Well, this is complicated because Cabal already existed inside of Destiny 1. It was already there. It was a D1 thing. So
Yeah.
It wasn't like D2, Bungie just pulled space turtles out of their ass. We have been dealing with Cabal since 2014 on Mars. I want to say it's even in the lore. Red Legion was even in the lore inside of
Destiny 1.
1's.
Yeah.
What was it back then? How was the lore stored back then, guys? What was it? The Grimoire.
Grimoires.
We
Yeah.
had Grimoire cards back then. I want to say it was even in the Grimoire. Okay, let's keep reading. Now, this two lawsuit targets Bungie for alleged story theft. In its complaint, Marnay states that the leader of his Red Legion, Ynera, has an origin story and motivations almost identical to the Red War campaign main villain in Destiny 2, Dominus Gaul. Both characters, according to the lawsuit, are shown as societal outcasts who rise to prominence as leaders and aim to take control of a powerful celestial entity hovering above Earth, Marnay's Tonanob station, and Destiny 2's Traveler. The similarities between Marnay's primary antagonist, Ynera, and Destiny 2's primary antagonist, Dominus Gaul, are striking and clearly established more than a mere coincidence, the lawsuit reads. The rise of Dominus Gaul.
I mean, does it? Like how many fantasy novels have you read where it's like, oh, I'm a societal outcast that rises to the top of the empire and now I'm going to wage war? Shit, you can argue that that's technically a side fucking narrative of the Witcher series with what's his name taking over Navarro, series father, where he's a societal outcast who rises to the top of the empire. Then he uses the entirety of the empire to go after a fucking magical MacGuffin that is in some way, shape, or form going to either return him his wife or return him his daughter. Same thing. Like that's just generic storytelling. You would have to, and in an argument too, it's like, oh well, they're both societal outcasts. Yes, but what makes your character a societal outcast? Like if I sit down and I open up your book and the societal outcast is like Destiny 2's Gaul is a slave trained in the gladiatorial arena who rises to prominence, that's fucking Megatron. And then if I read your thing and it's like, oh, Destiny 2 a slave who rises to fucking prominence and they're a thing, that's also fucking Megatron. So, I mean, if you sit down and you take a step back and you, in all honesty, look at these characters narratively, You're always going to find similarities in fantasy characters. Another thing, if you wrote this in 2013 and Destiny 2's Red War came out in 2017 and it was removed from the game like 2 years ago, why are we suing now? Why didn't you say something like way back then? What suddenly brought this on? See, this makes me want to dive into the type of writer that you are to see whether or not you've actually wrote anything compelling, and this is just not a cash grab in hopes that Bungie's like, here's 100,000, leave me alone, because this it doesn't make any sense.
From Destiny 2 replicates the rise of Overlord Ynera from Marnay's work. They are both urged, guided, and assisted by outcast mentors, scholars to overthrow their leaders to rise to power with the intentions of invading Earth. In both Marnay's work, including without limitation the First Defense and Destiny 2, rebels fend off the Red Legion invaders on Earth against backdrops of burning settlements, ravaged streets, and utter chaos. Alright, so hold on, let's just...
But that's what happens when you invade. Like you can't say that, oh, one of the similarities are burning settlements, ravaged street, and utter chaos. That's what happens when any empire invades. Any empire invading a planet that doesn't follow its rules ends up with burning settlements, ravaged streets, and utter chaos. Star Wars does it. Lord of the Rings does it. The Witcher does it. Destiny does it. Star Trek does it. So many different medias have this concept of empires invading a location and completely fucking that location. What are the major similarity? Like the major similarity that you would have to point to would have to be something along the lines of a character who does something. Like in your novel, there's a female character who activates this thing, and her activating this thing allows her to do this other thing. And then that has to be one for one, shot for shot, also in the other piece of work that you have notes that says that I wrote this on this day, I uploaded it on this day, this is when they released their thing, in order for you to go, here's the solid proof that they stole they to quote Soldier Boy, he stole my flow bar for bar, word for word. Other than that, you don't really have a leg to stand on because this is just generic fantasy stuff, and it feels as though it's kind of all circumstantial.
Streets in utter chaos. Alright, so hold on, let's just read this right here. So Marnay's work. Immediately after the enhancement beam is mentioned within the narrative, the concept of transversion is introduced. This is a system used to merge both minds and consciousness. The narrative also presents transversion as an ethically complicated technology that could potentially alter the future, prompting questions about its responsible usage. The moral and ethical questions regarding it are explored in numerous portions of the narrative, and users, often through journals, question morality of such actions. The technology is utilized not only in the Red Legion and Marnay's work, but by and on numerous other factions, sometimes unknowingly. Transversing consciousness in the narrative introduces a mode of delivering propaganda to intended targets in order to accomplish certain tasks in this portion and throughout other portions of the narrative. So Destiny 2. After encountering failsafe on Nessus, the concept of exo-consciousness transfer is introduced in Destiny 2's narrative. Through the character of Cade 6, exos created by transferring human consciousness into robotic bodies embody an ethically complex technology. This process, developed by Clovis Bray during the Golden Age, raises significant ethical questions about identity, autonomy, and the moral implications of affecting memories. These dilemmas prompt a deeper reflection on the responsible use of such advanced technology and its potential impact on the future of humanity as the Guardians navigate the aftermath of the Red Legion's invasion and their ongoing fight against the forces threatening the last city. It should also be noted that the Clovis Bray Corporation utilized propaganda to promote their technology advancements and to paint a positive image of their contributions to society due to the ethical quandary surrounding it. That's pretty basic sci-fi shit, guys.
Yeah! That's all it is. It's basic sci-fi shit. I'm stealing somebody's mind to put it into a fucking robot. I'm gonna send that robot off to kill people. That's fucking Warhammer and the Dreadnoughts, where you have a partial fucking corpse, and you take that partial corpse and you stick it into a Dreadnought, and you tell that Dreadnought to go out and continue fighting in the name of the Emperor while that Dreadnought is in pain and fucking dying. That's the Borg from fucking Star Trek, where you have a corpse, and you take that corpse and you wipe that person's mind, and you insert Borg commands and Borg philosophy so that that person can be dropped in onto a planet as a fucking drone and go off and slaughter and kill people. That's the exact same thing in fucking Star Wars. in regards to, you could also say droids, but then also oh my god, what the fuck are they called? I can't remember what the hell they're called off the top of my head. But it's what the Empire was doing to, was it Echo, who came back in Bad Batch, where they basically turned him into a cyborg slash android human hybrid, because his plans were so fantastic, and his way of outthinking people on the battlefield was so great that they had to keep him alive and force him to continue creating plans for an army that he had essentially fought against in an attempt to basically destroy. It's the same thing in fucking Lord of the Rings, where you look at the fucking orcs, and the orcs being elves that were basically kidnapped by fucking Sauron and tortured and brainwashed and corrupted, and then turned around, got you, you son of a bitch, and turned around and set back to destroy the land of the elves that they had initially been from, because they had no longer remembered anything about their past in any way, shape, or form. That's just, that is fantasy stuff. That is just things that happen in fantasy. There's always something that is immoral and unethical, that a faction or an individual attempt to justify in some way, shape, or form. The Borg, it's all about fucking unity. In Star Trek, it's about winning the war at whatever costs. In fucking Destiny, it's about creating the perfect freaking human body that can last forever while allowing you to enjoy all of the pleasures of being a fucking human. What are we doing here? Like, what, in all honesty, are we doing here?
Impact on the future of man and society, with both factions having soldiers known as legionnaires. Weren't they known as legionnaires back in D1? Another point is the betrayal of war beasts in Destiny 2, which Marne argues are nearly identical to his creation called Miagas, which are dog-like creatures used by the Red Legion to further their military tasks. Okay? The lawsuit further emphasizes the similarities in technology used by the Red Legion in both works, including powerful weapons. Marne's story introduces a weapon called the Adonizer, a laser-based super weapon that could spell doom for the conquered population. Okay, does it suck the sun off? See, that's
right. Like, okay, so you have a fucking space station that has a laser that can destroy a planet. That's a fucking Death Star. That's the fucking gun on top of the Star Destroyer in Rise of Skywalker. But if you were to say that, hey, my thing that I created is in the shape of a moon and it shoots a big laser at the planet, then that would be you stealing something from Star Wars. Your thing's just a weapon in space. Does your weapon harness the energy from the sun, then shove it back into the sun to detonate the sun and wipe out an entire fucking galaxy? Is that how your weapon works? Because if your weapon doesn't specifically work like that, then it's just a super weapon. It's a super weapon in a sci-fi fantasy book slash genre. There's thousands of them. What's the Star Wars one? Centerpoint Station, Shatterpoint Station, the one that uses gravity and black hole anomalies to basically just wipe out a section of space. It also acted as a prison for Abeloth, but that's neither here nor there.
That's what in a comparable super weapon named the Almighty is used by Gaul Red Legion to threaten the destruction of Earth's sun. Both the Adonizer prototype and the Almighty are portrayed as extremely powerful weapons that can bring about the destruction of an entire race, the lawsuit states. Yes, but specifically does it mention the sun?
Right.
At some ways we can also like bring this up to like the Death Star, you know what I mean? Like, and the lawsuit also alleges other copy details and plot points in Destiny 2's Red War storyline, including failsafe, Cabal incinerators, flamethrowers, encrypted messages, the spaceship reactors, digital input panels, beacons as message receivers, Red Legion transmissions, the concept of consciousness transfer, the Exo race, apocalypse storyline, and more. Okay.
Here's the thing. The Exos were in Destiny 1. Exos were in Destiny 1. Failsafe was an addition to Destiny 2. There's no way in hell you're going to be able to get anybody to believe that you, in some way, shape, or form, created space Roman flamethrowers. They've been around since Warhammer. Stop it. Encrypted messages are in every single form of fucking media. The spaceship reactors, digital input panels, shut the fuck up. beacons as message receivers. We've had beacons in the game since Destiny 1. This feels like someone whose story never took off, who's looking for a quick settlement. Like you're looking for get the fuck away from me money. Where Bungie's just like, yeah, we'll settle with you. Stay the fuck away from us. Like, don't bring us back in here for any type of ignorant bullshit. Here's 30,000. Please go away. That's what this screams of. This screams of desperation.
Work receiving message via beacon submerged Arctic 1259. The digital input panel on an Adonizer prototype is described as having a failsafe mechanism that can reverse the effects of an enhancement beam and permanently alter the physics of the surrounding area for a certain period of time. In Destiny 2, failsafe is an artificial intelligence that helps the player find Cade and disable equipment of the Red Legion. Using failsafe, players are able to reach the reactor core to complete their mission. Failsafe also assists in search for Captain Jacobson and Marno's work. A failsafe mechanism in the Adonizer prototype acts as a crisis aversion tool, reversing the effects of an enhancement beam.
Okay, so the failsafe is a mechanism, and in Destiny 2, it's an artificial intelligence. Right then and there, that's two completely different things. If your failsafe is a button or a lever or something along those lines that you have to pull, you have to activate, that's one thing. But this failsafe is an actual artificial intelligence with emotions. Does your failsafe mechanism have emotions? Is it something along the lines like the fucking moment from Doctor Who, where when you're about to pull it, it becomes sentient and it's like, whoa, whoa, hold on there, player. You pull this lever, you're gonna wipe out the entire fucking galaxy, or is it just a lever? Like this, I don't see this going far.
An artificial intelligence named failsafe guides players to avoid obstacles and achieve objectives, functioning as a preventive tool. Okay, a failsafe mechanism is way different than our failsafe, who's like got like split personality disorder. Not really. It's just, you know, that's just how she conveys information. That's like this. It's not a mechanism. Marno is seeking damages and injunctive relief in the suit. According to the lawsuit, Marno claims that Bungie's infringement was deliberate and intentional, and he's demanding a jury trial to settle the matter. As of now, Bungie has not responded to the lawsuit. Okay, so requiring defendants to deliver to Marno all copies of materials that infringe or violate any of Marno's rights described herein. Requiring defendants to provide Marno with an accounting of any and all sales of products or services that infringe or violate any of Marno's rights as described herein. I'm curious, man. It's from my neck of the woods. If it's North Louisiana, I probably know the attorney and I probably know the judge. It's a small world, man. It's a small world. I don't know. I'm gonna have to just withhold judgment on this, guys. I say that
This shit's not going anywhere. Like I'm extremely sorry, but it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere in any way, shape, or form. This is the equivalent of someone in 2024 writing a story that's based on Star Wars and then attempting to claim copyright and put a lawsuit on somebody else's story that's based on Star Wars that blew up and did better than theirs. That's what this is. Like you're trying to compare super weapons. Super weapons have been around since fucking Flash Gordon. You're trying to compare unethical experimentation that's hidden behind ethical propaganda. That's Killzone. That's Star Wars. That's Star Trek. That's fucking The Witcher. That's Warhammer. That's also Flash Gordon. That's Dune. Like you no, absolutely not. I don't. In all honesty, if I was Bungie, I would show up with top tier fucking lawyers and be like, yeah, sure, let's run this. Let's go ahead and run this. You got to present your shit. We'll present our shit. And we're going to see exactly how far we take this because there's no way in hell that I would ever sit down and allow somebody to disrespect me this way in thinking that the piece of shit that they wrote that didn't even fucking take off in some way, shape, or form actually. There's no way that this is taking this long. I'm just saying. Like Google is really out here. Google is really out here searching. Wait, you're on IMDb? What? Hold on, cuz. What'd you do on IMDb? Nothing. You contributed to nothing. You worked on nothing. That's all the copyright lawsuit stuff, right? I don't think this is the person. I don't even think this person has a fucking Instagram. There's nothing. Book. Have you written any books? You had to have written a book. I'm just saying, like, if you're an author, you had to have written a book. There's no way this thing that you released on WordPress 11 years ago is the only thing. No, wait, hold on. It said that writer, but that wasn't her. That wasn't her pen name. Her pen name was um Louisiana-based writer. Campaign. No, wait. Hold on. That's her legal name, but what was her pen name? Like, I definitely know Casper Cole. Hold on, because I got to see whether or not Casper Cole has written any fucking books. Casper Cole is the pen name. They've written nothing. Now, mind you, that's how they spell it, right? We have Kevin Cole, which I don't even know where that is from. Oh, White Tiger. Cool. Bungie lawsuit, a Marvel character. Bungie lawsuit, the Marvel character again. Still White Tiger. There's only 4 fucking pages. Wait a minute. Casper Cole did something on YouTube. Nope. 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 Wait. Nope. 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 You don't exist. There's no books from the Louisiana book writer. This is Stephen Cole. Stephen Cole. Stephen Cole. Stephen Cole. Stephen Cole. Casper Cole doesn't exist. Casper Cole has never written any fucking books. This isn't going anywhere. I don't see this going anywhere in any way, shape, or form. I think Bungie will probably send their lawyers down, and they'll probably waste more money. Like, I'm telling you, this is one of those lawsuits that it probably costs Bungie less to settle out of court than it does to actually send their lawyers to court. Like, lawyers can be anywhere from a couple $100 a fucking hour to a few grand an hour. Like, I'm fairly certain that Bungie is probably going to be like, how much is it going to cost? Let this person to get this person away from us, for them to go away. If I was them, I'd stand on business, motherfucker. You'd be showing up to court every single day, trying to defend your what you call it. Whoa. When I tell you that this is one of those times that if I was rich, I'd be petty rich, where I'd drag this shit out in court just to piss you off. Oh boy, that is definitely though. I'm the type of person that don't bring bullshit to my door, like, because this is bullshit. And if you don't care about my time, I wouldn't care about your time. And you would be getting every single piece of the scummiest delay tactics in regards to a fucking lawsuit I could throw in your general direction to teach you a goddamn lesson. But like I said, I don't see this going anywhere. So, look, it is what it is. Bungie got the money to fight this. You better have the money to fight this because you motherfuckers been overcharging me for skins and battle passes for the last like 10 years. So I expect nothing but petty. That's all I expect from this lawsuit. But let me know what you guys think about it. Comment down below and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.